to the Classy Career Girl podcast. I'm Anna Runyon, and this show is all about motherhood, calling, meaningful work, and building flexible income around real life. Because I believe you really can have it all. Let's dive in. Welcome everyone to the Classy Career Girl podcast. I am excited about today's topic because this month inside of our community, we are focusing on visibility, getting out there, showing up consistently, and actually telling more people about our businesses. And that's why I'm especially excited for today's conversation because we're going to be talking about a powerful visibility strategy that many entrepreneurs overlook, which is public relations or PR. And in fact, PR has been top of mind for me lately. So this episode is perfectly timed because I'm working on my book proposal, and my agent and I have been having conversations about how we can continue to expand the reach of my message as well. So this is going to be a really impactful episode for me and for you guys as well too. So let's dive in. I'm excited to introduce you to our guest today. Lexie Smith is the founder and CEO of GrowthMode, a PR agency helping founders, executives, and experts grow their visibility and influence, and the co-founder of the Ready, Set, Coach community. Her expertise has been sought after by global organizations, and she has spoken at conferences and universities worldwide, coaching hundreds of entrepreneurs and executives on leveraging PR and thought leadership for meaningful influence. But most proudly, she's a mom of 2 young girls and currently resides with her family in Ventura, California. So welcome, Lexie. I'm super excited to have you here.
Thank you. It's been a minute since someone read my bio, and it's hard not to get like all flushed and hot, right?
Yes. And that's why we have other people read it for you, right? Because sometimes when you read your own bio, you're like, it's like scary.
Just get all quiet. The irony of the PR girl feeling shy, but yes.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us, how this company started, what made you decide, to take the risk of entrepreneurship. Tell us about the beginning.
Oh my gosh, I will do my best to cliff note this for everyone. Yes. So I started in agencies, went in-house. I moved to LA after college, so I was very much in the scene. I was the marketing PR director for a hospitality group in Los Angeles, and it was very glitz and glam and everything that you see on TV, and I hated it. LA was not the life for me. So I ended up moving an hour north with my then boyfriend, now husband, to a city called Ventura. And when I got up here, the career options for someone in PR were significantly limited compared to that in Los Angeles. So I ended up at a telecommunications company, and I eventually became their VP of PR and marketing. So I went from Beverly Hills rooftops to, no joke, flying up to Sacramento and lobbying at the state capitol in like a room of old white men, right? So talk about a shift. And I absolutely adored the ownership of that company. It was great for so many reasons, but my body was feeling the misalignment pretty heavy. And I had a very dramatic day in office, and it was 2018. And my body basically broke down from stress. I had to be carried out of the office in a makeshift stretcher, went to the hospital. I'm in my late 20s at this point, and it was a huge wake-up call that I wanted to start a family one day. I'm only in my late 20s. My body's already breaking from stress. This looks great, in the bank account and on the resume, but it's not working. So that was all right, what is this shift I'm going to make? And I thought, what's less stress? Entrepreneurship. Jokes. No, but I was attracted to the concept of being able to control my own schedule and, make my own decisions and stand on them. So I transitioned out of that company very slowly. Again, have nothing but respect for them. Left at the end of 2019, launched my first company, 2020, in January 2020, which was called the PR Bar Inc. It still exists. I just call it my neglected brand child, because the things that came ended up taking a lot more time. But the PR Bar Inc. was rooted in teaching people how to do their own PR. So rather than doing it for them like an agency, I was educating everyone. Along with that came a podcast. You mentioned Ready, Set, Coach community. That was a tangent business that I ended up starting with another female founder. And about a year and a half into entrepreneurship, the company that I left, the telecom, essentially said, hey, can we give you money to hire employees and start a PR firm so that we can be your first client? And I was like, let me think about this, not trying to like backflip my way into burnout yet again, but I decided to go for it. And that was the first version of Growth Mode Agency. This was back in 2023. Coinciding all of this, I promise I'm almost done. I gave birth to my first daughter in 2022. And obviously, becoming a mom significantly shifts everything. I got pregnant in January of 2025, so last year. So I welcomed my second daughter, and that once again made some shifts. So today I have a PR agency, and a lot of what it looks like today has been crafted along with that journey of building a family. Okay, that probably was too long of Cliff Notes, but there you
No,
go.
that's perfect. That's perfect. And I love too that you just got started building the business. You didn't know what was coming. You didn't know that it would turn into something else, but you started taking action. And that everyone should do that.
Yeah, that's never been my problem. My problem has almost been the opposite. It's of slowing down and saying no. So that's been a journey in itself, learning how to turn things down. And when I can't do it all, right? Which as
Right.
moms, we can all relate to.
Yes, definitely. So let's dive into your expertise and what you have to share with us about PR. Like, how does PR lead to clients and revenue and brand awareness?
I'm the queen of not giving short, simple answers because it's not a
That's
short and
okay.
simple answer. There's PR does many, many things. And I want to first define PR when we're talking in the context of this conversation, right? Usually, when people think of PR, they're going to think of media or they're going to think of like Olivia Pope from Scandal, Crisis Comms. That's generally what I find, right? And it's both. It's both those things and more. It's also speaking. It's also coming on podcasts like this. It's intentional campaigns. It's making an effort to put your name out there in a way to connect with different audiences. That said, generally speaking, people want to hear about the media side because that's more the mystical part of it all. PR, depending on what you do, what tactics, so whether you're doing a podcast or it's an article or it is a speaking gig, they can all lead to different things. So does every single PR opportunity immediately lead to revenue? No. Some, yes. And I love giving examples. I'll stick to the entrepreneur model rather than going kind of e-commerce, but let's say I'll use myself as an example. I wrote an article for Create and Cultivate a couple years back for my second company, Ready Set Coach. Very thoughtfully, it was kind of a how-to piece on how to build a coaching business. That article directly funneled people to our company and our community, and we got actual clients from it. So that is an example of a fantastic, yes, this leads to money. Flip side, I was featured in NASDAQ, and I can't directly connect revenue to that, but what I can do is use NASDAQ and say I've been featured there and leverage the heck out of it. So it becomes a leverage point, which again is harder to track when you're talking about revenue, but absolutely impacts the business as a whole. So it just depends kind of what opportunity and how you leverage it. Some of these opportunities work for themselves. Some you have to help along and make them work for you.
Yes. And keep record of all these things too. Because I mentioned I'm doing my book proposal and I'm doing the platform section. And so I had to go back to like 2011, 2012, 2013, like try and dig up all the places. But all that to say, it all counts. And even though it might not lead to revenue, look at me like trying to remember 10 years ago where that was posted and everything as well too. It all builds over time and is important.
100%. And you featured in 2011, you can use that logo forever, right?
Yeah.
Like that doesn't go, you've been featured there, period. Doesn't matter if it's 50 years from now, you still were featured in that insert publication.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's neat too because a lot of them are still like articles and like are still out there as well too. So you can go back in time and still reference a lot of the things that you wrote or said, a long time ago too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I won't go to rabbit hole here, but when we talk about articles specifically, there's a whole resurgence now of how much that impacts the AI algorithms that be. So there's this whole new play. The PR industry is very excited because what we've been screaming off the rooftops is now very front of mind as everyone figures out how to be found in LLMs and search models. So those articles are still working for you in that
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
And also, from my experience too, there was a period where everyone was doing ads, and now that's decreased as well too. So tell us about you talk about the organic growth formula, and that's definitely something that I think everyone should be more aware of, like growing organically rather than just like, let me put up an ad. So tell us
Yeah.
more about how to grow your business organically through this method.
Yeah, so it all starts, and I feel like most things in business do, but it's worth reminding with what's the goal. So let's use you as an example. Okay, you're working on a book. So let's say you're going to go through the organic growth formula, and your goal is I want to sell my book. Maybe that's your goal, right? It's really, really important to start with that because that's going to dictate the channels you choose, the tactics you choose, etc. So that's part one. Next, you have to be very honest and aware of what you are and are not willing to do. Meaning, are you someone, clearly you are, who can go on podcasts and can go on videos? Yes, you are. But that's not true for everyone. Maybe someone else absolutely can't even, like, there's 10 mindset blocks before they're going to show up on camera, but they love to write. So get really clear on what you're willing to do. I think that's part of the sustainable visibility factor that we often forget. And then part three, where are your people, right? So who is your book for? Just to ask.
Moms starting businesses.
Mom starting businesses. Okay, so we have the goals to sell our books. We want to reach mom starting businesses. And what is something we know you're willing to do? I'm just going to pick podcasts for now. Moms listen to podcasts, right? You're great at podcasts. So now that we know your goal, now that we know what you're willing to do, and we pick at least one channel, there you go. So now you can start to say, I'm going to pursue podcasts, and you can start to kind of build on top of it. But you start with the goal, you get honest with yourself, you figure out where your people are, and then you can pick that tactic accordingly.
I love that. And do you recommend then you're your own person to be reaching out or to hire an agency? Like, how would you recommend when the time is right for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there's no one right answer for this. It depends on you. Once again, like what do you have? Do you have time? Are you rich in time or are you rich in capital?
No.
No one's, right? So what's the fine line? I think you have to once again get really clear on priorities. Can you DIY this? Absolutely. You can if you commit the time to do it and at least some amount of, and it sounds like I'm not saying you specifically, but whoever's listening, some level of education around the process so you know what you're doing. If you have those two things, if you're willing to learn and you're willing to spend the time, then heck yeah, you can do it yourself. If those two things are just not a possibility and you're willing to carve out some budget, then I think an agency is a fantastic option. Or if not an agency, maybe it's a consultant. There's a lot of different ways, but that's really where I'd start. Like, what's realistic for you? The pros of hiring an agency, it's going to probably go a lot faster. There might be some connections they already have to place you quicker, but it can cost money, right? It will cost money. And it is a bit of a long game. So before anyone goes that route, I think they need to get really honest and clear about what they're signing up for. You're not going to sign up with an agency for a month. That's just not how it works. And if any agency offers you that, run. It's a red flag. It's not how it works. So to summarize, get clear on what you are willing to put into this. Is it time or is it capital?
I love that. And what should you focus on first then? If you're going to carve out, what would you say? I'm thinking like 30 minutes a day, maybe do reach out. Is that what you would recommend? And then what do you do?
Yeah, great question. First, you're going to need to get your ducks in a row. I call it like getting press ready. So we'll stick with the example we've been doing with podcasts, right?
Yeah.
Once you understand what you're going to pursue, there's going to be a core set of assets you need for that. So that's going to be different for a podcast than if you're going the writing route for bylines. So for podcasts, what do we know? We need some photos. We're going to need some photos. We're going to need a bio for you, for hosts to read. We're going to need some sort of talking points that you can leverage in a pitch, right? So get all that stuff ready because you're going to need that in the process to pitch. Also, start to understand where you're going to target. There are so many resources right now. I feel like they're popping up left, right, and center right now about how you can reach out. You can do it the old-fashioned way. You can enlist a service like Podmatch. That's just one of the many that costs money. But like, again, understanding which route you're going to go. If you want to pitch, if you want 30 minutes a day, that's fantastic. Then you will get 30 minutes a day worth of pitches out. If you want to carve 3 hours a day, fine. You'll get 3 hours a day worth of pitches out. You can go as fast or as slow as you want, really. There's no rule to that.
I love that. And what would you do if the example was like to get on a TV show or to get on a magazine? Like I'm thinking what I'm trying to do is like encourage people to dream as well too. I'm sure you maybe teach that as well too. Like
Yeah.
if ideally, where would you want to be listed? Not just like, oh, I guess I'll be here or I'll be here. But like, what if you have a dream of being, in a top TV show or something? What would you do?
Yes. So, well, first I'll say absolutely dream. However, a mistake I do see people making is putting so much weight in that dream. And then when it comes true, almost like a letdown, thinking that that big name is going to do all the things in the world for them when truly it's a lot more niche that can move the needle. So just keep that in mind. That said, it depends what the dream is because TV very different than magazines and magazine very different than digital publication. So it depends where the dream is. TV is a very specific channel to pursue. So this is when I'd really, it's more gate kept than something like a podcast, right? It's absolutely doable, 100%. I've had coaching clients in TV segments without me, far beyond me, right? You can, as a founder, reach out to television, but you need to understand what you're pitching. You need to understand who you're pursuing. Are you going after a segment producer? What does a segment producer care about? So you really got to do your research and understand the newsroom so you can serve up an idea that fits. Flip side, let's say you're going for digital publications, same thing, comes down to research. If you're pursuing a feature, we'll do the book. Let's say you want to get in gift guides. Well, there's a little bit more layers involved in getting a product featured in a magazine. Without going too down a rabbit hole now, there's this whole world of affiliate platforms that a lot of products have to be on these days, where basically a whole new revenue stream for magazines is to take a portion of products. So like, let's say my coffee mug was featured in Elle magazine for best Father's Day gifts, because every father wants a pink Minnie Mouse coffee cup if you're watching this on video. Then let's say I sell it for $20. I'm going to sign up on an affiliate platform. And anytime someone clicks to purchase this mug from the Elle article, Elle's going to get a little cut of it. So that whole process is very different than I want to be featured for my story in Elle magazine, right? So there's a lot of nuances and it's very doable. I don't share all this to overwhelm, but more, I guess, as a PSA to take a beat and get educated. Figure out what type of placement you want and then learn about it and then you can pursue it. Don't, because there are nuances involved.
Yes, definitely. And I think just taking action too, because you never know, like one might lead to another. I was
100%.
Yeah, I worked when I was in San Diego, I worked with Just for Success and they needed someone to go on a TV segment and talk about like something that they were promoting, and they asked me to do it for them. So you just kind of never know where like connections might lead you to be on a TV segment as well too, if you're like helping people and talking about what you do too. So I assume there's a lot of like, if you do one, then they reach out and they want you to do another. It kind of becomes a snowball effect, I would imagine too. Do you see that?
Absolutely can. If you become a good expert for a television network and that producer likes you and you make their life easy, you will be their first call.
Yep.
It can, a lot of people want that. So it's about being ready. TV specifically, you can't be as picky or choosy about. Actually, one of the most challenging things that we deal with as an agency, especially when people start to have a lot of success with press, they want to be more selective about when they go on or what they talk about, or no, I can't do that Tuesday at 2. When you're talking TV, you don't, you're kind of at the whim of the TV gods. You want to be on TV,
Yeah.
you need to be at the whim of the TV gods. You need to show up when they want and you need to be prepared. You have 20 seconds to do it. And it's exciting and it can be incredible for your business and brand. It's one of, I think, the most fruitful channels, but it's a lot, it's like, if you're going to say baby steps, that's not necessarily a baby step unless you're someone who just like thrives, right? But yeah, if you do it and you rock it, then yeah, we had a wine brand who did this segment, on a Fox in New York, and the host and my client got along really, really well. So then she started bringing her on every quarter for a holiday segment because that relationship was there.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. So are you ready for lightning round questions?
I hope.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Okay. What season of life are you currently in?
Well, I have a 4-year-old and a 7-month-old, so that season.
Yes, yes. I have a 4-year-old as well. So,
Okay, yeah.
what does meaningful work mean to you right now?
Right now, I think everything I do stems back to family. So if I can, my day is built around and my work is built around supporting family experiences. And then if I get to support my clients in that way, so if what I do helps them be successful so they can go take that vacation, I think that is resonating with me more in this season of life. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully it does.
Yeah, I love that. It's the impact too. It's like
Yeah,
impacting your
yeah.
family and then impacting
Family
your
impact.
clients as well too.
Yep.
I love that. What's one thing motherhood or real life has taught you about success?
Oh my gosh. That it's consistently changing. I think my version of success consistently changes. Right now, my version of success is I showered this morning and put on makeup for this podcast, and that was a big win. You know, early 20s Lexie, like success was climbing the ladder. It's very different now. Now it's being able to take up on a Friday to go somewhere with my family.
Yes, definitely. What's one rhythm or routine helping you most lately?
What routine exists in my life right now? I would say my honest answer is we're still figuring that routine out right now. The 7-month-old isn't sleeping very well, so I'm a little bit in survival mode. However, I have a part-time nanny who comes. There's my answer. My part-time nanny who comes 5 hours a day and allows me to do this. That is like a godsend for a career.
Yes, that's your rhythm.
There's my rhythm. That's
Yeah,
when
there
she
you go.
gets here.
Yes, definitely. What's something you're simplifying in this season?
My expectations of myself, which is real hard. So I'm trying to give myself grace, and instead of trying to accomplish 50 million things a day, accomplish 40 million things a day.
What's one small habit that's made a big difference in your life?
I couldn't do this for the first 4 or 5 months, but I'm back doing it again. I read at night before bed, and that, like, even if it's 5 minutes before I pass out, that little me time, that disconnection is huge. So,
Yep. Coffee shop work day or working from home?
well, I work from home every day, so I'm in desperate need of a coffee shop working day.
We need to get you a coffee.
Yeah.
I'll send you one.
Thank you.
What book are you currently reading then at night?
I'm on book 3 of the Zodiac Academy. I'm a fairy fantasy girly. So
Love it. Love it. What's bringing you joy lately?
we recently purchased a vacation home in Big Bear, and we're putting it on the Airbnb market. So that's like my new business baby, and it's lighting me up.
That's
It's stressing me out, but lighting me up. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I used to live in San Diego, so that
Yeah.
was like I had my bachelorette party in Big Bear actually
Really?
a long time ago. Yeah, it was
Oh,
super
how
fun.
fun.
We rented a whole vacation home, and all my girls came in. It was super fun.
I love it.
Yeah.
You ever come back to Big Bear, let me know. We have a great place.
I will. I will for sure. What's one encouragement you would give a busy mom listening today?
You're doing great. We have so much on our shoulders, and there is no such thing as a perfect mom. I don't care what you see on Instagram. I don't care what your neighbor talks about. Like everyone is failing 10 times a day or thinking they are. And I think as long as we have happy, healthy children, at least 70% of the day, depending on their age, then we're doing good. This is a reminder for myself too, to be honest.
I know this is why I do this too. It's like I learned something every interview. I learned something from you guys too. So where
Yeah.
can people find you online, Lexie?
Yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. So social wise, I would connect with me there. My name's Lexie Smith. Career wise, PR wise, it's growthmodeon.com. That has my newsletter and all the things.
Awesome. I love it. Well, we'll go check
Yeah.
you out and request you as a connection on LinkedIn for sure. Thank you so much for joining us today. This was fun.
Thank you so much for having me.